Hello everyone, welcome back to my fifth video of my Advanced English Passion Project. Um, in this video, I will be discussing the cons and the argument against video games and what they can harm about your personalities and your traits and your mental health. Because in the last video, I discussed the benefits of video games, the pros, and vice versa. In this video, I will be talking about the cons. So, I've always played video games for a very long time. I've noticed many benefits, but at the same time, there's many non-benefits. Video games can have addiction to them. I know when I play a lot of video games, um, as a kid, I've always procrastinated like homework and stuff. When I used to be really young, we used to do math facts and stuff in elementary school, and I used to play video games all the time and never wanted to do my math facts. Um, so there's many downsides to video games, but there's many benefits. But today we'll be discussing more against uh, the argument against video games. So, according to www.ncbi.gov/PMC articles, um, currently, violent video games are among the most popular video games played by consumers, most specifically first-person shooters. Now, in this video, I'll be talking a lot about the aggression and violence a lot of video games have been directly linked to. But to throw out there, um, playing anything, playing any video game, doing anything, eating anything, doing too much of anything, more than you should, is unhealthy. Um, so playing an obsessive amount of video games, therefore, can be very bad. And a lot of the time, aggressive crimes and stuff can be linked directly to video games. A lot of the times, are younger adults who've been playing video games for a long period of their life, and it can be directly linked to their aggressive tactics. But in the first quote, we can see that many of the video games are purchased by consumers are the more popular ones are violent video games, more specifically first-person shooters, which you would think could be directly linked to violent actions with weapons. Another quote from the same source: previous research utilizing the General Aggression Model (GAM) has identified that violent video games increase levels of aggression. Little is known, however, as the effect of playing a violent video game online. So, this information comes from a website um, from a government website titled "The Effect of Online Video Games on Levels of Aggression." So, from these quotes, we can definitely see that video games have caused lots of aggression, but video games are more of a newer study, so there's not a ton of information out. However, you can directly link, again, as I say, aggression and violence can be directly linked with video games in many cases. But at the same time, there's also lots of obsessive addiction. Whether or not it's linked with violence and aggression, it can be very unhealthy. In my video talking about the benefits of video games, I talked about how video games can help ease anxiety and depression. But if one plays a video game for too often and doesn't get out of the house like enough, or whatever, um, it can also lead to um, them not making as many friends or not feeling more social awkward out in public, and it can also cause even more depression than there was in the first place. But most of these cases, playing too many of video games can be bad for you, but at the same time, there's many benefits. So it's up to the user to find the happy medium, to know what's healthy and what's not healthy, is what determines the benefits in comparison to the cons against them. Um, According to another PMC article over the government topic, from a website titled Potential Adverse Effects of Violent Video Games, Interpersonal Affective Traits Are Rather Impaired Than Disinhibited in Young Adults. Um, there was one quote that said, while most studies focused on the effect of violent video games on a single trait or behavior, such as empathy, morality, or aggression, adverse behavior usually arises from a combination of traits. These can be grouped into two domains: interpersonal affective deflects, including social infancy, pathological lying, and manipulative behavior, including lack of impulse control and many more symptoms. Um, Again, video games have many traits, but there are so many benefits that most of the argument is based on aggression and violence. But as I said, if the user uses a healthy amount of video games and not an obsessive amount, um, there you can deny many of the aggressive habits based on video games, because usually that is like an obsessive amount to a degree where it is not needed at that amount. Um, so video games have many benefits with health and anxiety and depression, but at the same time, video games played to an obsessive amount have many cons against the pros. Lots of aggression and violence and addiction can ruin many people's mental state. So as long as there is an equal amount of both. Thank you all for joining me. I know this was more of a discussion topic than some of my other videos, but hope you all enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next video.